The Big Bang expanding space model fails the angular diameter test. Angular diameter is a measure of the apparent visual size. So the farther the basketball is from the observer, the smaller it will appear, and thus have a smaller angular diameter as represented by the pink theta symbol. But the basketball's physical size doesn't change, only its apparent size as reflected by the angular diameter. So as a basketball in Euclidean space is moved further and further from us, its angular diameter shrinks. In contrast, in the Big Bang model, an observed object is further and further from us, that is to say more redshifted, its angular diameter doesn't shrink as fast, and in fact at some point will start looking bigger. The point where the object starts to look bigger is known as the angular turnaround point. The Science Asylum YouTube channel covers this, and I credit the Science Asylum YouTube channel for some of these graphics. This is one from that channel, but I added the basketballs there. Actually, the original graphic is like that, where it has the galaxies. Hopefully you get the point. The basketball in pure Euclidean space will, in this graphic, look somewhat like this, not to scale, of course. It'll look somewhat like this. It gets smaller as redshift increases. Whereas the basketball in the Big Bang expanding space model will look somewhat like this, not to scale either. And the basketball in the Euclidean space with a correction for a plasma effect will look somewhat like this. Let's relate the graph from Science Asylum to the graph in the peer-reviewed paper. We can clearly see the actual observed angular diameter points, converge on the predicted Euclidean plasma-corrected model, aka the shift happens model, and not the Big Bang. The Big Bang expanding space model therefore fails because shift happens. And the DNA tests are in, and Edwin Hubble, you are the father of the Big Bang. That ain't my baby, it's someone else's. Edwin Hubble is credited as the father of the expanding space model that is the basis of the Big Bang, but his actual views are more nuanced as articulated in various publications, including this one in the Los Angeles Times, December 31st, 1941. And it says here in the red box, while the expanding theory cannot be abandoned, Dr. Hubble said, present evidence is against it. This leaves the redshift of the light a complete mystery, which still greater telescopes may solve.